What's going on, guys, and welcome on in. So the patch preview just hit. The live stream just happened as a few hours ago, and I want to talk to you guys about focusing on the heroes as well as the summer units coming up. I think the summer units got pushed up because collaboration, of course, got pushed back. And I need to tell y'all, let's talk about the banners, whether I think you should pull, not pull, save, and I'll give like maybe some quick builds and ideas. That was a comment left, is just some quick tips on gearing. I'll give some basic thoughts on each one, and then at the end, let's talk about Straze or Straze. Comment below, guys. Is it pronounced? How do y'all pronounce that? Type it out for me. I think some of y'all are saying Straze, Straze. I think Straze isn't correct, but that's kind of how I like saying it. But I'll say it correctly, whatever it is. Anyways, yeah, let's go through Krau banner, Ravi banner, the upcoming Seaside Bellona, which is happening next week, and Holiday Eufine's coming at the end of the month. Summarized area, I'm guessing maybe next month. Okay. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get through these units and my recommended guide on pulling or not pulling each of them. Okay. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and talk about the heroes, starting with Crowl. I'm going to go ahead and show my stats here for you guys, and I'll put a recommended just stat line or sets that you should kind of look for in the beginning. Just be aware, guys, it's not a hard and fast rule. If you ever need extra help, stop by my Discord or stop by my streams, and I can guide y'all and understand where you're at in the game and give you a little bit of better direction. But just I'll give a quick beginner tips on how to gear them, because I think that was a commonly requested comment from you guys, okay? But let's talk about Crow, his banner, and whether or not you should summon. So as you can see here, guys, he's coming tomorrow, Thursday the 24th, after maintenance, for 1 week alongside Ravi, and then the week after that will be Seaside Bellona. So let me talk about Ravi and Crow together real quick. I'll group them together, and I'll talk about Crow specifically. But these are two red, green, blue units that are not limited, and they are the perfect bait banners. What is bait banner? They're designed to make you guys spend your bookmarks when there's some stuff around the corner that is limited or very, very good. So Seaside Bellona, Holiday Eufine, maybe Summarized Area, and then however many collab units if that were to come out. There's just so many limiteds that could be coming out soon or are guaranteed coming out right now that I don't know if you can justify pulling no matter how good these are. So just be aware of that, guys. That's why I call them bait banners. I think you should prefer limiteds over non-limiteds because they will not come back for at least a year, if ever, and there's always a good chance that Crow and Ravi will come back. Especially you could get them from 4 to 5 star summon books, or get them from a 5-star summon book, random covenants, and of course the element summons. You can get them from a lot of other areas alongside mystics, but the limited units you can only get from their run while they're out. Okay, so just be aware of your bookmarks. I know some of y'all will pull for Crow, you will pull for Ravi. I think that's okay. Just make sure you set aside enough for the limited units, or if you don't, be prepared to miss out on that and just accept what you've decided. Okay, let me go ahead and talk about Crow real fast. Just as a unit, he's insanely good. Just like Ravi, I would put him in top 3 or top 5 red, green, blue non-limiteds. He's an all-star. You will not regret getting him. Insane tank. He is actually one of the top contested first picks in up to legend PvP. Insanely good Guild Wars, Arena, RTA. He can be okay PvE, not bad. There's better options, but just very, very good. Okay, so just be careful. I know some of y'all will pull for him. Holy Sack also is a pretty good artifact, especially for Guild Wars, but you probably want to run Aureus on him if for just general purpose. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and talk about Ravi. So I have her ungeared right now, but this is kind of the build I run on her. Just a recommended stats, guys. She can work on speed set, she can work on counter set. Just take your pick. The general trend nowadays, though, guys, is to make her tankier with less offensive stats, because you just want her to live. Now, let me talk about her in the meta real fast. Speaking of wanting to live, she is played a little bit less than before. She's still a monster, and you'll do really well with her in PvP. However, the unit Carrot, as we all know, is extremely strong, and she kind of displaced Ravi or made her played a little bit less, because the burns, especially if you run counter build with Ravi, can oftentimes just kill her straight out. Carrot kind of is a little bit of a better fire unit at the moment and scares off some Ravis. However, you still like her, she can still work really well. Just be aware of that, and I'll put some recommended stats on the screen. So let's go ahead and pull up the stream again and look at the banner. Same time as Crow, guys, alongside Sigurd's Scythe. So same thing with Crow, guys. It's a bait banner. Prefer the limited units. However, if you did have some bookmarks set aside, or you're okay possibly missing out on some limiteds, Ravi's very good, and she's just as good as Crow for PvP. I think Crow has a slight edge in the current meta. Like I said, he's a top pick right now, and Ravi's getting played a little bit less because of Carrot, but she's still very good, and she has the edge in PvE. Hellraid, Expedition, or maybe not Expedition, Hellraid, and Abyss. She's an all-star. Very, very good unit that doesn't die, can self-heal, and just provides some extremely good damage with soul burn and things like that when you need it. So Krau and Ravi both arguably top 3, top 5 red, green, blue non-limited units, but you probably just have to save for the limited units anyways, unfortunately. But they are here, so decide for yourself, guys. Good luck. Okay, guys, next up, let's go and look at the banner real fast. I'll find it here. Oh, actually, it's up here, guys. SSB has a drop rate up next week, Thursday. Okay, so 1 week after the Krau and Ravi banners. And let's go and talk about her real fast, because this is insane. A lot of y'all, I know, will be pulling, and she's a limited unit, so go all in, guys. If you don't have Seaside Bellona, easy answer, pull for her. Now, real quick, if you get 2 copies, you may want to keep 2 separate, one for Wyvern, one for PvP, okay? Just a heads up, a lot of endgame players end up doing that, so it's kind of a nice quality of life thing if you don't mind spending a little extra molas and things like that. Now, let me talk about her builder fast, guys, and why you really, really want to grab Drink if you play PvP. If you don't really play PvP too much, you don't really need to get Drink. There's better PvE artifacts, but if you guys do want to play RTA, Guild Wars Arena, things like that, you really want to grab this artifact. So set aside some powder in case you get unlucky. Like if you watched any of my recent videos, I told you all to start saving powder. You're going to want to get this, and honestly, you're going to want to get max limit break if possible. Now, let me talk about her build. We're going to ignore Wyvern builds for today. Let's focus on PvP. Really, guys, she's very flexible. As you can see here, I have 3 different sets. You can run speed set, you can run immunity. Just make sure she has immunity, but you can run speed set with immunity. You can run some defense. I have crit, defense, and immunity on here. Run whatever you got. Just focus on getting a decent amount of attack, because it works really well with Rengar's Drink, but you want to make her pretty bulky, okay? So people get even bulkier than I have here, defense and health. Just make sure she doesn't die quick. The longer the match goes on, the more counters she's pumping out, the more Rengar drinks she's proccing that are AoE. She's going to land a defense break here and there, and she's going to win the match for you if she doesn't die early. Okay, now in this day and age, she is a little bit harder to pick. There's a lot of counters, so you have to watch out for Rowana and Solitaria, things like that. You're going to have to later pick her, but if your opponent does not have an answer, she will take over the match. That's why you got to build her tankier, though, so she doesn't die. I know some people are trying like lifesteal builds. You can run her on speed set, like I mentioned. There's a lot of different options. Just make sure her stats are very bulky. You could ignore speed at all. That's the nice thing about her, guys. If you don't want speed set, you can go 0 speed, because most of her damage comes from the counter. Some people do want a little bit of speed there, though, like 150 after speed set. And then make sure, guys, you have some crit and crit damage. I know some people will try going all in on attack for just the drink procs, but it's really nice. Almost everyone goes to get some free damage. You can allocate the stats to get some crit chance and crit damage on her, okay? That being said, there's not much else to say, guys. She's an amazing unit. I think a lot of y'all have saved up. And good luck on your summons. She's really, really nice. You won't regret it. Remember to keep 2 Seaside Bellonas separate and save some powder for the Rengar's Drink, okay? Alright, last but not least, let's go ahead and talk about Holiday Eufine, which I'm going to show the banner because she's actually not coming until the 22nd, so near the end of the month, a long time from now. But let's go ahead and talk about her real fast, and this one's much more simple. If Holiday Eufine was not a limited unit, guys, I would probably advise y'all to go ahead and, you know, you wouldn't need her unless you really like her. She looks really good, of course, but there's just better options for her spot, and the fact that her skill 1 actually does AoE, meaning it hits 4 units at a time, or as many units are on the field, it actually sometimes bites her in the butt. So be very careful with this. She is very good, so let's talk about possible builds. The stat line, guys, just go ahead with some speed, HP effectiveness, and then if you want to do like the glass cannon or damage builds, you just go with attack, crit, or damage. She always wants a little bit of bulk. She kind of just wants everything. Just depends if you're going for the CR cleanser or a damage build with AoE, right? So her main thing would be like a Bazaar counter, but even as a Bazaar counter, there's other options that work kind of just as well. So really, she doesn't have a unique spot, but she can be a fun damage unit that does hit a lot of units at once. And then you can also run things like Junkyard Dog for extra burns. With her greater attack up, it does a lot of damage, or you can give her like some self-sustain with Sigurd Scythe. I know that's also a common build, but overall, I think you still need to pull her because she's limited. She may get buffed in the future, but she's not nearly as good as Seaside Bellona. And she's definitely not as good as Krau or Ravi. Just remember to balance the limited versus non-limited. I think you should still prioritize Holiday Eufine if you care about collecting and the possibility of buffs. And you may get Krau and Ravi some other ways, okay? But she's not as good as them. She's sort of more niche. She's okay. She's not a bad unit at all. But yeah, I think primarily you're going to be pulling because she's limited or because of 2 other reasons, okay? All right, so I got the video right here ready. Let's go ahead and look at Straze. He is or actually, Straze? How do we say his name? Straze, I'll say Straze for now. Double attack, imprint, Dark Warrior, Taurus. And I think he lives up to his boss status, guys. His skill 3 looks so insane. He cuts 3 planets in half. And I think the skill kind of lives up to it. So let's go ahead and look at it. Let's talk about it. It's called Star Extinction. Attacks all enemies with a sword. So it is AoE. Penetrates defense of the target with the highest max health by 30%. When the caster's attack is greater than the penetration target attack, the pen rate will increase proportional to the difference up to a maximum of 100%. So if we assume he's going to be attacking tanks because he's going to attack the highest max health unit, typically those units may not have that much attack unless they were like an attack scaling bruiser like Senya. If it's a unit like Fallen Cecilia, as they showed in the video, you are going to be getting close to, if not always maximum, 100% defense pen. And if he was to kill that target, he's going to grant himself invincibility. Very, very cool. What a cool skill. We'll have to see the multipliers as for how much it hits the surrounding units, but the main unit that gets hit, up to 100% defense penetration, and if he kills it, invincibility. So that's kind of a tank buster, soul weaver buster. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and move on to skill 2, guys. Destructive Gaze. Now, I think this skill is actually insanely good and maybe even better than the skill 3. Attacks all enemies with a wave of force, dispelling 2 buffs, and ignores effect resistance. So think about like Bazaar with his soul burn, guys. No matter how much, if you have 300 effect resist, it doesn't matter. This man without soul burn will ignore it. And when he soul burns it, his 3-turn only becomes 1-turn cooldown for 10 souls. That's actually insane. If Straze lives for an extended amount of time and he's able to soul burn the first skill 2, you will never have buffs, pretty much. He will just remove them while also doing some AoE attacking all enemy damage. And the nice thing is if there's only a few units left, he'll also do more damage as well, depending on the scaling. All right, let's go and talk about his skill 1. I mean, the skill 1 is whatever, guys, but even for a skill 1, it really depends on the multipliers. But combat readiness 20%, not a bad thing. Maybe some people will try some counter builds. Who knows what they're going to try, but still just never bad. After he cycles his skill 3 into skill 2, he gets the CR push himself. Always nice to see. Way better than a lot of other options, all right? So overall, guys, it's too early to tell how good he is, but he's definitely exciting. He definitely looks really insane. The skill 3 and skill 2 are absolutely bonkers. My only worry, okay, if we compare him to a unit like Operator Cigarette, who also, you know, can one-shot tanks, kind of like Straze or Straze does. She has, Operator Cigarette has access to Guiding Light, so she's stealth and can't be targeted in case your opponent outspeeds you. Straze, I'm not sure. He doesn't look super tanky. He is a warrior at least, but I think people will, depending if you build him too squishy, right? You're trying to get too much attack and crit damage. He's going to get outsped, and unlike Arbiter Vildred or like Kayron, he has no built-in survivability, so he could just either get disabled or straight up killed before he's able to go. Be aware of that, guys. You're going to probably want some speed on him, or give him some combat readiness push, some kind of support. That way he can get his he can get going. But if he's uncontested, he will take over. He'll kill tanks, he'll kill soul weavers, no matter their effect resist. He'll remove buffs, and he's hitting like every unit while he's doing that and having the insane skill animation. So I think Smilegate did a good job. We'll see how impactful he is, but you guys already know I'll be pulling day 1. Are you guys gonna pull? Let me know. With that being said, guys, I think the video already went long enough as is. I'm glad we got to finally see Straze. And yeah, just let me know your overall thoughts in the comments below. Much love, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch y'all soon.